They found 48 shell casings on the outside of my door.
Has anybody screamed police?
Nobody has said anything yet. No crime was committed in that house. So how can you just come and kick my door down? And now I got to go through 16 years when I wasn't doing nothing wrong. My thing is, I know the cop. I rode motorcycles with him this summer before this happened. I bought him lunch. They won't let me fight it. And the same judge that signed the warrant is my trial judge.
That seems like a conflict of interest.
People say wrong place, wrong time. How is it wrong place? I was in my bed, sleep where I was supposed to be.
I'm a little depressed for you.
I'm depressed myself. I wake up every day thinking about it. My name's Nelson Pizarro. I was born in Yonkers, New York, 1982. My mother was at first a stay-at-home mom. My father went to jail when I was around 8 or 9 years old, right around 89, 90. He caught a Fed case. He wound up doing 10 years. He came home when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I was thinking, he went away for 6 months, but no, if it's a Fed case.
He came home when I was a senior in high school.
What happened with your mom and now,
So my mother, who's the most official lady I've ever met in my life, she did the whole time my father. Every day. We never missed more than 30 days. So she wound up getting a job in a bank first. She started working in a bank right before my father went away just because she wanted to work. And she had always worked when we were younger because we didn't have money. So she wound up being a stay-at-home mom later on when we moved to Staten Island. And then she started working right before my dad got locked up. She was a teller in a bank. Then when my father got locked up, she wound up being a secretary at some office. And then it was hard on her to get us to him because he's so far. So she wound up getting a job in the airlines for, at the time, Continental Airlines, so that she can get flying privileges so that we could fly to him because you fly for free, but it's standby. So for 10 years, we never went longer than 30 days. And that was whether we had to drive 10 hours, wait in the airport for 2-3 days because all the flights are full and we fly standby. She did what she had to do to make sure that we saw that man. No, we never went longer than 30 days. Sometimes it was twice in a month, but we never went longer than 30 days without seeing him.
Okay. What happened when he came home?
He came home and...
Did something happen between then? I mean, you get in trouble or no?
No trouble. I didn't get in trouble until I got to college.
Okay.
So I went to Catholic school my whole life. From kindergarten, I graduated high school, Catholic school.
Okay.
My older brother was in the streets. Me and my younger brother were definitely not in the streets. We weren't even allowed outside. Like, my father would ground us from jail on the phone. Like, I was never one to sneak out. I've never cut a class in high school. I don't even know what it feels like to cut a class in high school. I played basketball. My father came home right around my senior year. We went to the halfway house first. And he went back to doing whatever he did.
Right.
He wound up, I remember I wasn't going to go to my senior prom because I don't care about stuff like that. And he wound up getting me the big stretched Hummer. Now, the mind this is in 2000 for just me and my date. He's like, you want to go to the prom? I'm going to send you right. And he got me a stretched Hummer just for me and my date. But he always encouraged us, school. Like, that was his thing. Go to school, do whatever with school. I wanted to be a lawyer, actually. So I played basketball. I went to a school that's closed down now. It's called Green Mountain College in Poultney, Vermont. I redshirted there. And I went to a college, American International College in Massachusetts. That was my first brush with the law. I got in trouble for having a gun. This is in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
The only reason I had the gun was because it was me and one of my teammates. He's from Tarrytown, Larry Gibbs. He's actually, he turned out to be, he's a cop in Texas now.
All right.
We were smoking weed on the side block next to the school, and there were some drunk kids throwing bottles out the window, and they hit a car. The car backed up and pulled up on us and hopped out and pulled that gun on both of us. Like, yo, you throwing bottles at my car? And I'm like, nah, we were just over here smoking. We didn't do anything. We know who y'all are. And left. And the next time I seen him, I had a I had a gun on me, and he wound up running and telling that I had a gun on me. So I got in trouble for that. I wound up getting kicked out of school. I came home. When I came home, I went to the streets. I didn't know nothing else. Me being stupid, thinking I could do what my friends are doing at the time. I went to the streets. I started selling drugs.
Well, how much for the gun? What happened with the gun? You
What happened with the gun was, I had a lawyer up there named Vincent Bongiorni,
okay?
and on a technicality, he got me like a federal, because up there a gun charge is a Fed case. He got me a federal ACD. Basically, don't get in trouble for 6 months.
Okay.
So I came home and I was like, I'm going to the streets. I told my mom I'm going to the streets, and I moved out of the house. I slept in cars. I slept at my cousin's house, wherever. I didn't want to do nothing. And I could always go home to my mother's house forever. My mom is the most official lady ever. And I went to the
When you
streets,
say you went to the streets, what does that mean?
started selling drugs.
Okay.
Started selling drugs. Started selling drugs, trying to figure it out, messing money up, being broke. And then I started doing really well at it.
All right. What'd your dad say? Does he know? He's got to know. You know.
At the time he had caught another case. He was in the feds.
Oh, okay.
When I went to go see him, he caught a case the day, this is how crazy the feds are. The day he signed out on federal probation, he caught a case. They violated him. They said, we're violating you for going out the country. He went to Dominican Republic like 17 times. I was like, all right. They took him into custody. He takes his jewelry off because he's like a 80s gangster. Like he $2,000, $3,000 suits, shoes. Like that was his thing. Piaget watch, pinky ring. So he goes in there to sign out like a real big shot, and they violate him. So he comes back the next day to get his jewelry and stuff, or a couple days later, whenever it was. And the PO was like, "Oh, you're not going nowhere. We're locking you back up. You got a new case, money laundering in Puerto Rico." So he wound up catching another case. He's fighting the case. He wound up getting 2 years for that case. They sent him to Fort Dix. I went to Fort Dix to go see him, and I told him I was selling drugs. By this time, I was doing well selling drugs. So I actually went to ask him like for advice.
Right.
He walked off the visit.
He what?
He
He
walked off.
left?
He walked off the visit. He said, I'm not. I'm not condoning that. This has nothing. Hell no, no. Figure it out yourself. You figured it out this far. Figure it out yourself. And he walked off the visit.
Okay.
So
What did you think was going to happen? You thought he was going to be like, "Look, here's how you do it,"
to
or
be honest with you, I thought he was. I
yeah,
thought he was. I
yeah,
thought he
because he
was.
can't. It would seem like he's not in a position to judge you, but he's super just disappointed. He was hoping better for you.
He was definitely hoping better for me.
You ever heard the
And
term?
and he
Your,
paid so much money for my lawyer in Massachusetts.
have
Like
you ever heard? You ever heard the phrase or the term or whatever? Your father is the only man alive that will want you to see better, do better than him.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So he never wanted this life for us. Like his thing was, I was the first person in my family to go to college. So that, you know what I'm saying. So he walked up to visit. So I wound up catching another gun charge in Staten Island because I'm from Staten Island. So when I caught the other gun charge in Staten Island, I'm fighting a gun charge. I wound up getting probation for the gun. The judge says, "Don't let me see you in front of me ever again. I'm giving you a shot." I had a chance to go play basketball in Puerto Rico, some pro basketball and stuff. So he's like, "I'm giving you a shot. Get out of here. Do something with your life." 3 months later, I get caught in a conspiracy for doing somebody a favor.
How's that? What do you
That
mean
had
doing?
nothing to do with me. So I was selling drugs at the time, but the person who I was getting the drugs from wasn't from Staten Island. I had a friend of a friend. This is how my life been going since the back then. I had a friend of a friend who was getting drugs off of me. The person who I usually get it from wasn't around, so I can wait. Me personally, I can wait. He was like, "Yo, I really need it." So I called somebody that I knew that would have it, that I never get from ever. This is the first time I'm ever dealing with him, and The day I wound up getting the drugs, mind you, the drugs in the car is only the kid that's in the car with me. They were watching the guy that I bought it from for 2 years,
Right.
and I caught a case. They stopped me. They knew it was there because the phones were tapped, and the kid that was in the car with me told on me, saying that they were my drugs. When it was on phone tap, saying that, listen, these are his. They're going away. Everything. It was all his. I had that and money in the car. The money was mine. The drugs was his. I didn't want to tell on the guy, so I wound up getting 6 years.
Mm.
I fought it for 2 years, and I wound up getting 6 years.
Were you on bond for the 2 years?
No,
Or
because I was on probation for the
yes,
gun.
okay.
So once I got the probation violation, it was over.
So you already got 2 years in
So I got 2 years in.
on 6.
On 6, non-violent at the time. This is when they just changed the laws where you're doing 8 months to a year on merit, this, that, the third. I go up north. I do another 2.5. I come home on work release. I'm in work release, doing my thing, working. I'm working for my father now. He owned a pallet warehouse, and I came home already. He started doing the right thing. He was doing some trucking stuff, and he had owned a pallet warehouse that refurbished pallets and sold pallets. So I was working there. I actually almost cut my hand off there. I hurt myself or whatever. So I'm working there with him, and then I had lose my overnights because I made it back to the facility late. It's Lincoln in Manhattan. Oh, so I'm dealing with that. A cousin of mine gets locked up. He's like my brother. I go to see him in Rikers Island. While I'm in work release, I go to see him on Rikers Island.
Are you not? You're not allowed to do that?
I had done it 2 or 3 times before. As long as you don't get in trouble, it's not like I didn't see an issue with it. I'm really just going to see him.
As long as you don't get caught.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as you don't get caught going to see him, which to me, what would I get caught doing? Like I'm just going to see him.
Right.
Like it's during my timeout. I'm just going to see him. I go to see him. We sat down. A CO comes out the back, and they found a balloon of drugs that was on the floor.
Right.
They go back, and I don't even know what the hell happened. They go back in the back. We sitting down 3 minutes. They say, "You two get up." I was with his wife. What am I getting up for? They take me in the office. They're like, "Oh, you came to pass some drugs." Listen, I didn't pass nobody no drugs. I don't know what y'all talking about. There's cameras here. Get the footage. Like, I'm on work release. They let her go, lock me up. I fight that case for 16 months. I'm telling for 16 months, like, yo, just get the cameras. Just get the
Right.
cameras. Just get the cameras. I want to fight in it. I want to beating it because I didn't do it.
Right.
The case gets dismissed and sealed, but I'm in Rikers this whole time because I'm still a state inmate. I didn't have no bond again. They send me up north because you're still on that. I'm still on that 6 flat bid. They send me up north. I'm real close to my CR. I beat the ticket, so they didn't take away no good time. As soon as I beat the ticket, a week later, I'm home. Less than a week later, I'm home. They let me out. I come home. I'm on 5 years parole now. So from the 6 flat,
Right.
I'm on 5 years parole. So I come home thinking I'm broke for a minute. So you know what? Let me dibble and dabble, doing whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm lying. When I first came home, my cousin used to play for the Green Bay Packers. I started doing sports marketing with him on some, I don't even know how this happened. I went out there to visit him because I wasn't doing nothing else at home. I went out there to visit him, sports marketing team, this lady named Stacy. She wound up like taking a liking to me. She's like, yo, do you want a job? And I was like, nah, I don't want a job. Oh, do you want a job? I don't want a job. I don't want a job because that's my cousin, because he's like my best friend, but I call him my cousin. Because he's my cousin, I don't want a job. I don't like that nepotism, favoritism stuff. I get it out of it. So she wound up getting him to ask me, like, yo, why don't you take the job? It got nothing to do with me.
Right.
You'd be good at the job. I wanted to be doing real good at the job. And for one reason or another, the firm closed down. I came home. So now I'm doing fairly well for myself money-wise. Now, after the sports marketing. But I have to figure something else out. What am I going to do now? Like, I'm just sitting home. My brain gets to working. You know what? Let me dibble and dabble.
Right.
So I start dibbling and dabbling, doing what I got to do. All the time, staying low, staying out the way, just making my moves. I'm doing better and better. I'm working. I have a job that I'm doing stuff with cars. So I'm doing that. and I'm doing whatever on the side. I'm still on parole now. Parole comes to my house. I got like 6 months, 5 months left on parole from doing the whole 5 years. The only violation I had was for riding my dirt bike. That's it. They come to my house because I had friends that were upstate and I had sent them food packages. So I sent them food packages. There was nothing illegal in the packages. It was pictures, food, sneakers, money, magazines. And I'm a person, I don't like pictures. I was raised by my father, who was from the 80s. You don't take no pictures, though. Like, leave me out of pictures, leave me out of videos, leave me out of all that shit. And they wound up finding, parole came to my door, knocked on my door because the sergeant at the facility sent the pictures of me in Miami for my birthday the year prior to him. I have a gold chain on, I have a watch on, and they show up in my house. I was standing on a couch and live with ticket tape, little white ticket tapes. The sergeant said they looked like Coke bags. So he sent them to my parole officer. My parole officer comes to my house, knocks on the door, I let him in. You guys want coffee? It was four of them. You guys want coffee? It was like, nah, put your hands behind your back. For what? So it's a normal home visit. I said, this ain't a normal home visit. I've been on parole 5 years. Like, what are we doing?
You don't send four people to. Yeah, four people don't show up.
The 4 people's never been to my house.
Right.
Okay. I have forgot that I left some drugs on my counter in a Tupperware in a black plastic bag that I never keep no drugs in my house. Usually I take it to where I gotta go the night before. I don't never go to sleep at the time with drugs in my house ever. So they find it. Okay, let's go down. Lock me up. They locked me and my girl up. Let's go down. They said it was cocaine.
Okay.
By the time I got to court, now it was heroin. So they made a lot of mistakes, but they didn't want to let it go. I wound up getting 4 flat for that.
How old are you by this point?
By this point, this is 2014. So I'm 32.
Okay.
32. Right before I turned 32. All right. I go do my time. Well, I had a violation first. Time served 90. I came home. I'm fighting it. I'm like, yo, I'm taking it to trial. Like, in order to get my girl out of trouble at the time, I told them, listen, I'll take a plea. I'm gonna beat it at trial. I'm gonna take a plea, but you have to dismiss and seal the case against my girlfriend. That's the only way I'm taking a plea. So if it doesn't start there, we're going to trial. They wound up dismissing and sealing her case and giving me 4 flat. I stayed home like another almost 2 years before I actually did the time. I was out on bail. So
Were they just there?
I just kept having my lawyer push it back. Push it back.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was crowded or something.
I'm not ready to go in. I'm not ready to go. You got to pay a lawyer. You could like kind of. I need to set stuff up, and as long as you're not getting in no trouble outside, they know you're going to do the time anyway. So I go in. I get 4 flat. Now this is a time when they had just changed the shock laws. In New York, you can go to shock. At first, it was you had to be under 35 years old. You had to have 3 years or under to your conditional release date, and they send you to the shock program. You heard the shock program?
It's like a boot camp.
Yeah. So they changed it to the age is now like 50, and you can have felonies prior, and you can have done state time prior, which it was never like that. They just was certain, like most violent felonies they don't accept. They have to be non-violent, certain this, certain that. I qualify. I go to Gowanda first because I had to do a few more months before I was eligible time-wise. I go to Gowanda first, then I go to shock. Shock changed my life. I never, ever want to be spoken to in my mind that I never, ever want to go through this again. I never want to be spoken to like this again. The stuff they put you through up there is, I'm talking about 30-second showers for the first 2.5 months, 3 months, and you have to share a shower with somebody. 8 minutes to eat. 8 minutes to get ready in the morning. Like, and this is 45, 50 people in the dorm. Everybody has to be ready in under 8 minutes. And that's getting dressed to whatever outfit of the day is so you can go to PT. That's getting your cube inspection ready. Everything has to be the way it's supposed to. I never wanted to go through that again, ever. So I said, listen, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get home, but I know what I'm not going to do when I get home. If I figured that out, I could figure something else out. So that was my whole mentality the whole time in shop. Like, you have clearings every Saturday, and you would sit in a circle, and the council would come in every Saturday night, and they would ask you how you're feeling. It's 6 months. Once you get into a platoon, it's 6 months. The whole 6 months, every single clearing, my clearing was the same. How you doing? My name is inmate Pizarro, and I'm feeling miserable. That by the end, the council was like, listen, you've been here in 6 months and you're still miserable. You're about to go home in 2 weeks. Why are you still miserable? I said, I need this misery because I don't never want to feel like this again. I don't want to forget how this feels when I go on the outside. So I need to be miserable here. It's not a bad miserable. For all intents and purposes, a good miserable because I'm never going to forget this.
Right.
Never going to forget this. I mean, you have to run. We ran 10 miles a week. No, more. We ran 667 miles in the 6 months that I was there. We was a running platoon. We was in the hardest platoon on the compound. I mean, they put you through some shit. So I did that. I graduated. I did well. Didn't get in no trouble in there. And I'm not the type to get in trouble anyway. I don't have a problem with authority. I come home and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know what I'm not going to do. And I want to be in a garbage man. Private sanitation, making dirt money. I was making $17 an hour. This is in 2018. $17 an hour. And I got the job because the guy before me died. He got crushed with a container because the driver's an asshole. Yeah, it's crazy. You work 14 to 16 hours and they're trying to hurry up and get the route done. So imagine garbage trucks going over the and it's 2, 3 in the morning. There's no cars are going over the dividers, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whatever it is. And a really good friend of mine, whose dad is a really good friend of mine as well, Italian guy. I was always respected by a lot of the Italian people from Staten Island because I went about whatever I had to do, I went about it myself. You couldn't tell what I did unless you know what I did.
Right.
Super respectable. I'm super humble, everything. So he sees me on the back and he works in construction now. He does, he's a machine operator. He'd been there for like 15 years or whatever the case may be. So he sees me on the back of the truck one night. And he's like, nephew, you working still? And I'm like, yeah, mind you, I've been home like 3 months now. And he had told his son, like, yo, he ain't gonna last. He's too used to getting a lot of money. He's not gonna last with that shit. 3 months later, he saw me on the back of the truck. It was pouring that night. And I said, yeah. Well, he was going to work. The month and a half later, he saw me again. And it was freezing outside. It was snowing, hailing. I'm on the back of the truck doing my thing. He called me up the next day and he was like, don't go back to work. I'm like, what? He's like, I got you a job. I got you into a union. You got a raise. I'm like, what? So at the time, I'm making $17 an hour.
Right.
So what did the raise to? 20 something. I'm like, we're talking for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, no, I seen that you're not going back to it because you could have been stopped doing this shit and just want to start getting money. I said, how much am I making? He's like, oh, 48. It was 48.28. All right, now we doing something. So we got a union. Then
what's the union for? What are you doing?
10. I was working in asphalt and concrete. I was doing the asphalt on the streets.
Okay.
Where they rip up the couple of inches of the streets and pave it. Yeah. So I started doing that, and then I got in good in that because I learned how to work the machine, the small machine that actually rips the street up. So I'm going there busting my ass, working my ass off. COVID hits. What am I gonna do now? I was working there for a little bit. It slowed down a lot. So you know what? My credit's halfway decent. I got a little bit of money. Let me go rent some cars. I got 2 cars and I started renting them out. Started making a nice amount of money doing that. A nice amount of money. And I'm figuring my way. So from 2 cars, I went to 4 cars. Then I had a couple of other friends' cars. Yo, you know what? If you want, you can rent these out too. Boom, boom, make it. So I'm doing my thing. In the interim, I'm doing property management. My cousin asked me if I wanted to be a property manager. So I do that. We wound up. I started with his house in Jersey when I used to play football. I started with his house in Jersey. He lived in Inglewood Cliffs. He had a mansion in Inglewood Cliffs. So I managed that for like a year. Then he bought land in Tulum, Mexico, with two other partners, and he built a compound on it. So he hits me one day. He's like, "Yo, I need a favor." I'm like, "So?" He's like, "You want to move to Tulum?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? What do you need?" He's like, "I want you to oversee the construction of the house." By this time, I'm off parole. I got off parole in 2019. I maxed out. So I went to Tulum vacation because he was out there already. When he came back a few months later, that's when he asked me, like, "Yo, do you want to?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? I'll go do it." And I moved to Tulum for almost 3 months. I saw the construction of the house from when it was, the foundation wasn't even there until they started pouring the ceilings, because everything is concrete out there.
Yeah.
4,800 square feet, huge pool. It's a compound. Probably worth like almost maybe a little over $3 million right now. We were going to do that and then get some more land. It was for jujitsu. They were going to do like seminars for like famous jujitsu instructors. Go out there, rent the house. We were going to do 1 and 2 bedroom Airbnbs on it, and do like they do the jujitsu retreats and all that. So that was what it was gearing towards. But they had to do the main house first. I come back home. I started a concierge service with a partner of mine. So we're doing black car pickup. I bought 2 Escalades, and now we're doing black car pickup. So everything's picking up for me little by little. I'm doing super well. I don't have a care or worry in the world. At the same time, cannabis is about to start being legal. They just legalize it. They talking about giving the licenses and stuff. So I'm always thinking, I'm always working. Like, you know what? I'm gonna open up a smoker's lounge, but it's 420 friendly. I wanted to model it after the Italian cigar bars in Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that up and going. In the interim, a friend of mine that I see every day, he comes, he wakes up, he comes over my house in the morning after he drops his daughter off. We smoke a blunt, we play the game, we play Madden or zombies or whatever. And once he leaves for the day, he leaves for the day. He does what he has a house, he has his own house, he has his own family. He gets into it one night with his wife. Calls me up. It's like 1 a.m, probably 12 something. And had a penthouse apartment on Staten Island at the time. And he's like, "Yo, I can't do it no more." What's the matter? I said, "Come over, smoke a blunt. Don't worry about it." He had got into a fight with her, and she disrespected him, violated him, put her hands on him in front of his daughter and all that, in front of her family that was at the house. It's like, "Yo, I just can't do it no more." So I'm like, "You know what? Where you gonna stay at tonight?" He's like, "I don't even know." I said, "Look, stay here. I go stay at a girl house. I had 2 bedroom apartment." I said, "Stay here." One of the bedrooms didn't have anything in it. I come back the next day. "Have you figured out what you want to do yet?" Nah. I said, "Well, until you," because he had just bought a house in Jersey. "Till you figure out what you're gonna do and get on your feet, put a bed in the extra bedroom, and you can stay here. I'm never here. I'm between. At the time, I'm going to LA. I'm in New York. I'm never home." And it helps me out too because I have a dog. He can watch the dog. All right. He stays there for a couple months. At that same time, I had gotten the house that this incident that we're leading up to happening.
Mm-hmm.
When I get the house, I had rented that house before. Funny enough, that's the house that I got locked up in when I got caught in 2014.
Okay.
The landlord called me and offered it to me again because I was only there for like 2 months when I got locked up in 2014, and I absolutely loved that house. So when he offered it to me again, I said, absolutely. I was going to rent that house for a year and then buy a house in Jersey. So I said, absolutely. So I get it. And what I do when I get houses, apartments, everything, I do everything the way I want it before I move in, before I put the furniture in. I paint, run wires through the walls, whatever you're going to do, get it in there now and let's get it out the way. So I do that for a couple months. And then a friend of mine who's a boxer used it for training camp. He fought under Tyson Fury on the card that year. He moved out. I move in. At the same time that I move in, I tell him, like, listen, it's a 3-bedroom house. I know I'm not going to be stuck with you. If you want, come stay at the crib, put it, you know what I'm saying, it's 3 bedrooms, and we work it out. I'm never home, bro. He comes over there. So he's staying at the house for maybe 2 months. a little over 2.5 months when this incident happened. So I'm asleep one night. I still play basketball, so I played basketball and I blew my knee out. I had to do something in LA. I went to LA. I came back because I had to get an MRI read. The specialist is only there on Mondays. That Monday that I came back was Martin Luther King Day. He wasn't there. So I had to wait till the following Monday. So you know what? I'm not going to fly back to LA to fly back. I'll just wait until I get the MRI read and fly back. It's a Wednesday, and I have a real estate meeting in Philadelphia. I have my driver, because now I have concierge service. So I have my driver pick me up. I'm still on crutches. I'm just started using the cane. And my driver picked me up. We're going to Philly. I was supposed to spend the night in Philly. My sister calls me up. She's like, can you pick up your niece? I'm on the turnpike. I just left. I'm like 30 minutes away from Staten Island. She's like, can you pick up your niece? I said, yeah, what happened? She's like, my father just passed away. And Mike is salt of the earth. He's one of the greatest guys ever. And he was in the hospital. And I'm like, I'm turning around right now. She's like, where you at? I said, I'm on the turnpike. I'll be there in 40 minutes. She's like, no, I need somebody to pick her up right now. Where were you going? I said, I was going to Philly. I got a real estate meeting. She's like, nah, I'm going to get somebody to pick her up. I have your mother pick up or something. I said, all right. So I'm going to go to Philly, but I'm not going to stay the night. I'm going to come back. I do whatever I got to do in Philly, come back. I go to her house, stay there a couple hours, pay my condolences, cry it out, everything. I have my driver take me back to my house, the house, not the penthouse, the house. I grab $20,000 and I go to FanDuel in Jersey. I'm at FanDuel till about 12 o'clock, like 12:15. I hit them for like 11,000 and change. Good night.
Casino? What's?
Sports betting.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good night. I hit them for a little bit of bread. Okay, come back. I make it home a little after 1. Go upstairs. My driver's like, you need me tomorrow? I said, I don't know. I'll let you know in the morning. Walk in my house. I let my dogs out. My older dog and I had a puppy at the time. Let him out. I roll a blunt. They come back in. The puppy pees on the floor. I put him in a cage. Me and the older dog go upstairs. It's about 2 in the morning now. I'm on my phone. I hit a girl. I was going to go over her house. And wound up not. I fall asleep at like 3:30 in the morning.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. Whether you're having trouble falling asleep, you're waking up sweating in the middle of the night, or all of the above. That's where Ghost Bed can help. As the makers of the coolest beds in the world, Ghost Bed is your go-to for cooling mattresses, cooling pillows, and cooling bedding. From their signature Ghost Ice fabric to patented technology that adjusts to your body's temperature, every Ghost Bed mattress is designed with cooling in mind. So whether you want a plusher mattress that cushions your shoulders and hips, or a firm option with exceptional support, your Ghost Bed will keep you cool and comfortable all night long. When you purchase a Ghost Bed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed. You can try out your mattress for 101 nights, risk-free, to make sure it's the right fit for you. Plus, they offer free shipping, and most items are shipped within 24 hours. If you're not sure which Ghost Bed is right for you, check out their mattress quiz. You'll answer a few questions and get a personalized recommendation. Even better, our listeners can get 50% off site-wide for a limited time. Just visit ghostbed.com/Cox and use the code COX at checkout. Again, that's ghostbed.com/Cox with the code COX at the checkout to save a whopping 50% off site-wide.
My dog wakes me up. He sleeps in the bed. He wakes me up. But he's not growling. And anytime anybody comes by the door, by the house, anything, he barks. He don't like anybody coming by the house. He's super overprotective. But he's not barking. He's growling. So I think maybe he just heard something. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Go back to sleep. And I lay my head back on the pillow, and he starts growling more aggressively. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And my first floor is tile. My steps and my second floor is hardwood. So now I hear people coming in my house. Like walking up the steps in my house. A group of people. What the fuck? Andre, I know my friend is there, and his daughter had stayed the night because he was taking to school in the morning. So I'm like, maybe I'm bugging. But it sounds like a group of people trying to be quiet. Heavy feet. In my mind, I'm not doing nothing in the streets. I haven't done anything in the streets in a while. So why would it? It was never entered my mind that it was police. Ever. No way. No way.
Right.
So I grab a gun, I go to the door, and I put my ear to the door. They start whispering on the other side of the door. No, it's not this door, it's that door. Hit that door. So I cock the gun loud enough for them to hear it, loud as hell. And they start shooting through my door. I shoot back, I get hit. It spins.
What was that like? Like, I mean, when you hear the first shots, you know immediately. I mean, guns are loud.
And it was 5 people up there. So it wasn't like it was one shot and then wait and no. It was like Call of Duty. Like I went from sleep to, and I'm still sleeping.
Right.
Mind you, this is 30 seconds. From the time they came in my door to the time that they carried the cop, I was 123 seconds. They got to take a couple of seconds to get upstairs, and I'm still on crutch. I'm limping around. I got to blew my knee out, ACL, MCL, PCL, and LCL. My knee is no good, so I'm limping to the door. So this is 30 seconds after I wake up. I grab the gun from where it was at in my bed. I grab the clip from right on top of the wall unit that's right by the door, and I put it in. I'm listening. And they start shooting, so I start shooting back. Mind you, nobody's saying anything. I got hit within the first couple shots, spun me and sat me down, and I slid across the door. So now I start shooting over my shoulder. I'm laying on the floor, my back against the door, just shooting over my shoulder. Still don't know what the fuck is going on in life. I'm out of bullets. I only have 5 rounds. I get up and I go into my bathroom. So now I look down. Mind you, I'm in my Ethica drawers, socks, and a t-shirt. I look down and there's blood pouring down my leg. I got hit right in the front of my groin area, and it came out the back of my thigh. So now I'm trying to process what the fuck is going on? They're still shooting through the door. What the fuck is going on? And I told myself, you're gonna die today. Today's your day. They're not coming in here to help you out. Today's your day.
Has anybody screamed police?
Nobody has said anything yet. Try to jump on him. All this is happening simultaneously, fast. In my mind, I'm like, all right, try to jump on them, do something when they come in the door. So I'm walking back out my bedroom. The bathroom is in my bedroom. I'm walking back out the bathroom, and they stop shooting. And I hear, officer down, officer down. I said, what the fuck? Officer down. So instead of going to the door, I went to the window, which is opposite of the door. And there's blood on my blind somewhere. I looked out the blind. I seen the cops outside. I went and I sat on the foot of my bed and I put my hands up. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm unarmed and I'm hit. I'm unarmed and I'm hit. They said, come to the door, open the door. I said, I'm not coming to that door, but I'm unarmed and I'm hit. They said, come to the door, open the fucking door right now, put your hands out. Go to the door, went to the door, opened the door, put my hands out. I stepped in the hallway. The first words out my mouth when that door got open, mind you, this all happened behind a closed bedroom door, was, I'm sorry. I thought I was getting robbed. Is the cop okay? I asked if the cop was okay from the time that I opened that door all the way until I got to the hospital. I was in the hospital still asking about him. I didn't ask, am I going to die? I've never been shot before. I never asked, am I going to die? Get me an ambulance. I didn't ask for anything else except for, is the cop okay? I went from thinking I was going to die to wishing I was dead once I heard that it was police. I get to the hospital. I go through the process of the hospital. I get to court. No bail, obviously. I was in the hospital for 2 days. They went in and out. They just had to stop the bleeding. I go to court. No bail. Now I'm still trying to piece together what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, why were the police in your house?
So I wind up, when I got to Rikers, they put me in the same house as my man, my homeboy that was staying with me.
Right.
There was a warrant out for him because he had a sealed indictment for 7 sales that he made to an undercover, allegedly.
Okay.
And they applied for the warrant for a no-knock warrant because they thought that the house was his. They never mentioned me in the warrant. They never mentioned me in the application to the warrant to the judge. Like, listen, there was never no drugs sold out of my house. There was never no drugs found in my house. Ever. In the warrant, and I have the application for the warrant, in the warrant they said we need a no-knock warrant because cocaine could be easily disposed of, and drug dealers usually keep drugs in places that they can control, and that's where he lives, so that's where he can control. That's why they got the no-knock warrant. Nobody never said they saw drugs in the house. Nobody never said that there was drugs in the house. There was no drugs found in the house. There was no sales made out of the house. They said he went to a sale one time he got a phone call to make a sale. He left the house one time, went to a sale, and then went and did whatever. And on another occasion, he made the sale and then went back to the house. But there was 7 sales. That was the only 2 times that he went back to the house. Where he went the other 5 times? Where did he go the other 5 times? He wasn't selling drugs out of my house. And dispose of what? It's not evidence of a crime because he's already indicted.
Right.
He's already indicted. Pending arrest, he's already indicted. So it's not like you need the evidence that you're trying to get with a no-knock warrant to further his case. He's already indicted. So how can you get, on top of that, 5 cops, no body cameras?
Aren't they required to have body
By
cameras?
law, as of July, after the Breonna Taylor stuff, as of July of 2021, they're supposed to wear body cameras at all times on any no-knock warrant. The only thing that, and any warrant executed, period, the only thing that's exempt from that is body searches, cavity searches. That's the only search that's exempt from having a body camera. So I'm in jail now. I'm figuring all this shit out. I didn't even know about the castle doctrine where you're allowed to protect your home with deadly force in New York. There's only 2 places in New York where you don't have to retreat because you have the duty to retreat in New York. It's not like Florida. You guys got to stay in your ground.
Right.
As soon as you feel threatened, you can stay in your ground. In New York, you have the duty to retreat. You have to try to get out of that situation before anything else escalates. The only 2 places that are exempt to that are your place of business and your home in New York. That's it. There's no self-defense. There's no none. It's called the castle doctrine.
Okay.
So I'm in jail. I got no bail. I got a high-priced lawyer named Pizarro. And I'm calling around a bunch of lawyers, and they're all telling me, "No, you're not getting no bail. You're bugging out. Cop got shot. They're saying you shot him. You're not getting no bail. Get comfortable." And Lance was like, he was the only one that was like, "Yeah, I can get you a bail." I said, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." This is right around the bail reform had just dropped. She's like, "I can get you a bail." We went to court. He tried to give me a bail from my regular judge. The judge denied him. He's screaming at them, turning red. He's like, "This is bullshit." He's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to get you a bail." He goes to the appellate division. I get my bail through the appellate division, but they made my bail $5 million with house arrest. At that time, it's the highest bail ever. Well, when I made the bail, it was the highest bail ever made in New York. In the state, not the feds. And the feds,
he didn't get it lowered?
No, they denied getting it lowered. I bailed out on a $5 million bail.
What does that cost?
I had to give the courts, because I went through partially secured bond, so I get the money back. So I had to give them $500,000 liquid and prove where it came from.
Right.
And then I had to give them $4.5 million in equity in property.
Whoa.
So it costed me $500,000, and I had 6 signatures.
Okay.
So I came home, fighting it, and then I'm like, "Yo, I'm going to trial." Like this. I'm so big on accountability. If I did something wrong, punish me for what I did. I'm totally okay with you punishing me for what I did, but don't punish me for something that I didn't do and trying to make me out to be a monster. I give back. Like, I just did a turkey drive, 320 turkeys the Thanksgiving before this happened. It's happened January 20th of 2022. The Thanksgiving before, the 320 turkeys out of my own pocket. And I don't advertise it, promote it, because I don't care. I don't look for the accolades. I do it because even now I came home on an ankle monitor. I did a back to school giveaway August of 23. 500 book bags full of supplies, 4 notebooks, a pack of loose leaf, two folders, pens, pads, pencils. We did free food all day. I had 13 raffles, 4 laptops, 4 tablets, wireless headphones, a 55-inch TV, a couple of gift cards, $250 gift cards, free face paint for the kids, free haircuts for the kids, all day. Everything was free. I have a video. I'll send it to you when we get over. And I don't do it to promote. I didn't promote it. Like, look at what I'm doing. Like, I do it because I like to give back. That's what I like to do. That's my thing. So I came home fighting it. I'm like, I'm going to trial. So worst they're gonna do? You're gonna give me 15 years for the gun. I can go to shock with that. I'll be in shock. I'll be home in like 5 years, 6 years. I go to trial. I go to pick a jury. The day I went to pick a jury, they said, "Listen, we got to the judge got an open offer for you. 16 to 20."
The judge?
Well, the judge and the DA have an open offer for you. 16 to 20, the judge will probably give you 18 or 19. And you cop out to attempted murder on police. I said, no, I'm not taking it. So what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to give me 15 for the gun. If I blow to anything else, they'll run a concurrent. Why would I take 18 and I know I'm going to beat the shooting?
Right.
Okay, you go inside. I'm going to the courtroom. They tell the judge, well, he doesn't want to take it. The judge goes, why don't want to take it? He said, because he's going to beat the shooting. The judge says, oh, he's probably going to beat the shooting. Even if he beats the shooting, I'm going to max him on the gun. And he has a 54 count indictment. Anything else he blows to, I'm going to max him on that and run it consecutive. So he should take the plea because he could walk out of here with 30 years and I'm going to try to put life on the back. So right there in my mind, it told me, like, I didn't expect the judge to be lenient, but I expected him to be fair.
Right.
Like, if you go through this trial and you see that I didn't know they were police. I thought I was going to die that morning. Like, take that into account. And like I said, I'm not saying get off scot-free or show me favoritism. Just be fair. No. So to me, when I heard that, he doesn't care if I'm the one that shot the cop or not. Because I'm not even the one that shot him. A cop got hit in his calf. They had to have shot him because it went through his calf sideways. But he said it was facing my door.
Right.
With a shield. And they didn't say officer down until I had already stopped shooting. Been stopped shooting. I'm in my bathroom trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
How many times did they shoot through the door?
48.
48 times.
48. They found 48 shell casings on the outside of my door. And I showed you the picture of the door, so you know it's not bullshit.
Right.
So in all this, my thing is, I know the cop. I rode motorcycles with him the summer before this happened. I bought him lunch.
Right.
So why would you be a man about it? Like I wasn't doing anything wrong. I could see if I was in the street menacing or. So I'm in court, and he goes, "Listen, they got it down to 16 flat, and I didn't have to cop out to nothing that had to do with police. I copped out to a regular attempted murder. So they made him a regular person.
Okay.
He copped out to the attempted murder of his name. And that was a 54 count diamond. That's the only thing I copped out to when I got 16 flat. Because they won't let me fight it. And the same judge that signed the warrant is my trial judge.
Oh, that seems like a conflict of interest. He shouldn't have signed the warrant to begin with.
But they don't. What I think happened, I think they don't want all that to go into the media. Them not having, especially with the temperature stuff right now, them not having body cameras, me not being on the warrant. If I would have died, it would have been something totally different. Everybody would have been rioting and protesting, Breonna Taylor, this, that, the third. But because I lived, now it's basically their word against mine. And they're not, you don't see it in the paper all the time. There's never been a cop in my court date. You spit on a cop up here. And they're in the courtroom every day with supporting for, there's never been a cop in my court date. And I don't have no problem with authority. I have friends that are detectives that still check on me to this day, like, yo, you all right? That if I text them, oh, what you doing? Yo, I'm going to work. I'm going to be careful. The streets is nasty out there. Like I'm under the same impression as a judge. If somebody knowingly shoots at police, they deserve to be in jail.
Right.
What are we talking about here? But that's not the case with me.
What do you think the judge? I mean, I don't understand. Why is he so adamant when he knows you? He knows you didn't shoot him on purpose, or if you shot him at all. He knows that they were in your house. They weren't saying, or are they saying different? Oh no, we said police.
They said that they announced themselves. Well, the first reports were that I ran to the door, opened the door, seen it was them, closed my bedroom door, and then started shooting through the door. That was the initial report. Then because I got shot in the same leg that my knee was blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they found out that my knee was fucked up, that I couldn't run. So then it went from that to, oh no, we announced ourselves. The house is a 2-family split in the middle. So on the upstairs level is my bedroom, a bathroom outside my bedroom. My bedroom has a bathroom inside of it also. But outside my bedroom is my bedroom, a bathroom. On the other side of the hall, it's a bedroom and another bedroom that faces my door. So, on the other side, it's a mirror image of that house because you know how 2 families are split in the middle. So my neighbor's a Chinese family. I don't know the kid. I don't know high and by. I'm super cordial. I don't have no problem with nobody. He, right after the shooting, the police took him to investigate, took him down, questioned him, and they asked him, well, what did you hear? He said, I heard two bangs that sounded like gunshots. So I get up. He's in the back bedroom in the back of the house, which is adjacent to the bedroom of my friend. He said he walked through the hallway up to the front bedroom, which is adjacent to my bedroom, his parents' bedroom, and he looked out the window and he saw it was cops. That's how there was cops outside. That's how he knew it was cops. And then the shooting started. They asked him specifically, did you hear any talking or yelling or anything? He said, no, I didn't hear anything. So if you heard them hit the door, why wouldn't you hear them screaming police like they're saying, oh, we were screaming police, NYPD. They never said anything. And on top of that, what am I shooting at a cop for?
Right.
I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no drugs in my house. I'm not in the street no more. It's not like I got 50 kilos in here that I'm trying to protect and I'm going to get life. Worst you're going to get is a pistol in my house that I'm using to protect my house. Like I said, I'm big on accountability. The last time police came to my house, I opened the door for them, asked them if they want a coffee. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. What motive do I have to shoot at them, knowing that they're police? But the judge doesn't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's why I'm doing this podcast now.
So you get the plea down to 16 years.
15 flat with 5 years post-release.
So 16 years with probation after that. Super like a
Parole,
supervisor.
yeah.
What do you guys call it? Post-release?
In New York, it's post-release supervision.
Okay.
They word it like that for purposes of time, because before, when it was parole, if you come home and you get locked up and you're inside fighting your parole, whatever the case may be, and let's say they give you a 90-day or a year violation, that year could count towards your parole. That's why they worded it post-release. Your feet have to be in the street for it to count. So you need to have 5 years of feet in the street. But they cut it short if you don't give them no violations.
Yeah.
They give you a merit termination. That's where I got on my last one. I had 3 years post, and I got off I had 5 years on my last one, and I got off in a year.
So did you sign? Have you signed for it? Or you took the deal?
I took the deal. I had to. They said, as soon as we bring in this first juror, the deal's off the table. And I can't beat the judge. If the DA would have said that, I would have still went to trial.
Right.
But if the judge himself who's deciding on what time I get, I can't beat him.
Right.
I can't beat him.
But you're out now. How long ago did you sign for? How long ago was this?
August 26th.
And you're still out. What are you? Have you kind of like put it off or?
No. So once you cop out, they have to do a probation report. They have to do a couple of stuff, and they give you a couple months to get your affairs in order. Like I still have doctor's appointments. I have a doctor's appointment coming up in January. I have court in December, but I have a doctor's appointment in January. So I'm gonna see if they can push it back talking about my doctor's appointment, because I still want to see my surgeon, because I had to get the surgery on my leg when I came home. I had surgery on my shoulder when I came home. So I want to get all that taken care of, because I'm gonna be up there for 10 more years.
Yeah. You keep saying 16 years flat. You don't have any good time?
Yeah. So I took 16 flat. Out of 16, you do 13. You do 160 months. Out of that, I've been on house. I did a year in before I built out, and then I've been on house arrest for 2 years. So that's 36 months less. So I have to do 124 months. So I got to do 10 years.
Okay. Who's going to take care of your dog?
My sister, who took him when I got locked up last time. She the one that raised him. I had him when he was 5 months, and then she had him for the whole 11 and a half months that I was gone.
Did you sell? Are you selling your properties? Are you?
No, those are my cousin's properties. I was just managing them. So I got shot, and my other dog that I had got shot, and he died. The bulldog that I rescued. His name was Macho.
What is your buddy saying about all this? The one you said you ended up, he was like, holy shit, or was he?
When he came out the room, I'm on the floor already handcuffed when they took him out the room. He came out the room, and he's like, yo, they just started shooting. Those are the first words out of his mouth, because they was walking him down the steps. And what else can he say? Sorry. I don't blame him because he didn't do anything in my house.
Right.
And it's on paperwork that he never sold drugs out of my house. When I say they ransacked that house, because they were trying to look for things to try to tie me to any type of drug involvement, anything. There was nothing in that house, but they violated that house. I'm talking about broke walls down, floors, ceilings, every vent, pulled every vent out. They was looking for anything. Took all my jewelry, didn't voucher none of my jewelry, took money, didn't vouch, only voucher $87,000 of money that I had in the house. They do what they want.
Yeah, I had a guy I knew locked up in prison. His name was his last name was Junior. It was they called him Junior. He was in Atlanta, and he was a part of a drug kind of. It's really not a task force, but like a group of guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were big on no-knock warrants. And the way they would get the no-knock warrant is they actually had CIs that were certified. They were called certified CIs. So this is a CI that has helped us in the past get convictions. So his word is certified. It's good.
It's gold.
Right. So they go to him. So here's what happens is they would, and Junior did this for 10 years. So they would pull people over. They'd search your car and they'd find $40,000, whatever. And they just take it from you. They're like, you're a drug dealer. I'm just going to take it from you. And
who's to say that you even had it? That's what they're going to say. Who's to say you even had it?
Right. And so, of course, what he said was a lot of times, like you'd find like half a key or something and, 20 grand. And they'd be like, look, here's what we can do. Because they'll convert the cash to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So now suddenly you didn't get caught with half a key. You got caught with 2 keys because we're going to convert the cash to drugs. You got caught with 2 keys. You're getting 20 years. Or we can take the cash. We can turn in the key. You'll get 5 years as long as you don't mention the cash. We're going to do that for you.
You want to go home. It's like,
you want to get 5 years, you want to get 20. The cash, you're not getting it back. It's gone either way. And they be like, but if you fucking say that we took the cash, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be a problem. Oh, no. Take it. Like these guys would be like, take it. So they take it. And they would also, like one time he said they busted somebody, pulled somebody over. He has a key. They start, where's the money? And they're like, so basically they're like, they eventually figure out where he lives, go to his house on a no-knock warrant, go inside the house, find couple hundred grand, $100 grand, whatever it is, take the fucking money, and then say, we didn't find nothing. So we only got him for a key or a half key, quarter key, whatever it is. So he was saying that like, we were robbing, he was like, we robbed people for 10 years. 10 years. So here's what happens is one day they pull somebody over, they grab the guy, and they're like, where'd you get the drugs from? He's got like a fucking half a key or something, a key, whatever. They're like, where'd you get it? And the guy says, if I tell you where I got it, will you let me go? They go, you tell us where you got it. Well, we're going to take the drugs, but you can walk. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay, here's the address. Gives them the address, 3017, North 14th Street, whatever. Okay. And so they then go to the certified CI and they say, we need you to sign this saying you've bought drugs from this house. He signs it. They then take that and they go to the judge. They boom, this guy's bought drugs a bunch of time. He's a certified CI. You've signed off on him before. He just bought some drugs. They have the drugs. And the judge says, okay, no problem. They sign it. He signs it. Got it.
Rubber stamp it.
Yeah. So 11 o'clock at night, they go to the house. This is in Atlanta. Go to the house, bad neighborhood. They go to the front door. They pry open the front door. So it takes some time. You can hear them, bam, bam, cutting open the front door. And then they kick in the front door. And as they enter the front of the house, they hear, somebody shoots them. Bam, bam, bam. It was like 3 shots. And a junior unloads on them. It was a 70-year-old retired school teacher who woke up to hearing bam, bam, you know, bam, bam, the front door up. She rolled over, grabbed her little 22 or 38, whatever, small, walked in the hallway. It was a shotgun house. You know, the hallway starts at the front door, all the way back.
Straight
She
back.
leans out her window. She sees guys rushing in. She starts firing, and Junior unloaded it on her, killed her. So, you know, by the time the cops show up, they've come up with their story. She's a drug dealer. She's selling drugs. Drugs are being sold out of this house. We already have a no-knock warrant. We got a certified, you know, affidavit. So they're saying all this, but Junior, who goes to the hospital, because Junior got shot, by the way, it hit him in the vest, but it was this part of the vest, so it didn't hit so it goes through his shoulder, right? It goes or at least into his shoulder. He goes to the hospital, you know, and they stitch him up, whatever. And he was such a fucking dirtbag, bro. Whenever you would say something like he would, I'll tell you later, but he was such a douchebag. Anyway, like no remorse. So the cops get there, and very quickly they're talking to the neighbors, and the neighbors are like, "She's a retired school teacher. She doesn't sell drugs." The family showing up, that's my mom. What the fuck are you talking about? Like the neighborhood's getting crazy.
Yeah.
They're getting fucking riled up. They're ready to. This is a bad neighborhood. This is an 80%, 20% Hispanic, 80% black neighborhood in Atlanta, and where this was 20 years ago, where they're being brutalized, and they ain't having it, bro. So you know, and of course, you know, it's not like they're wrong.
They're not.
They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. Sometimes they get upset, like, oh, you arrested this guy, and oh, you're picking on us. But the truth is, the guy's a drug dealer. Like, so shut up. But this is a school teacher. So they're trying to convince people, no, she was selling drugs. And obviously, Junior's realizing it's unraveling.
It's getting ugly.
Right. Internal Affairs comes in, and they realize something's wrong. Something's very wrong. It's so overwhelming within a day or two, the feds come in and they say, no, your internal affairs are not taking care of this. We think you violated this woman's rights, her constitutional rights. We think this, and that's people think, oh, okay, so what? No. That's a serious fucking thing. They'll throw you in jail for 20 years for violating.
Right?
So it's starting to unravel. Junior, who's been around, knows it's unraveling. He knows the whole thing's going to fall apart. He knows his guys are not going to stand up. Right? They know the score. Junior grabs a lawyer, goes straight to because the first guy in the door is usually getting the best deal.
All the time.
He goes straight in and he says, Junior gets 3 years in the state for what is it for manslaughter?
Yes, sir.
And he gets 5 years for violating her rights. He keeps all of his money. He testifies against all of his co-defendants. He tells you what they've been doing for 10 years. And that's the deal. And the feds go, we'll take it. Like, because we've got nobody so far is coming in. Yeah. And I'm willing to lay out the case. So he gives up, I want to say his 6 or 7 partners, you know, in this little drug, not task force, but little drug unit. And he explains exactly. Oh, by the way, by this point, I told you it's been about 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of the hospital, of course. But by this point, the newspapers are coming out. And one of the things that's happened is that the feds grabbed the CI and he's talking. I don't know who that person. They showed up. They gave me an affidavit. They had it. I signed it. What am I going to do? These guys are telling me they're going to send me to prison. I've signed bunches of them that I've never bought drugs from. So this is
a can of worms.
So Junior goes in, takes the deal. And it was so fun. This is what I'm saying. It was so funny. I would sit there and because he would tell stories. I'd be like, you know, hey, this ever happened? This ever happened? You know, I'd ask him questions periodically. And, he would laugh about how this happened. Or I'd say, what's the worst thing you ever seen? And he would be like, oh, God, bro, the worst thing I ever seen. Listen to this. Like, I remember he told me they were chasing a guy one time. And the guy ran. He goes, the bridges that go across the highways, right?
Mm-hmm.
The overpasses.
Overpasses.
Right. He said, so it was this guy, we're chasing him, and he ends up pulling his car over, and right there just as the overpass starts, and he starts running. He goes, and I'm chasing him. He said he runs and he jumps over the overpass because you know how it goes down on the side, thinking he's gonna go down and be able to run down there. And he's like, there was a neighborhood not far away. That's where he's headed. He said he runs and he jumps. He said, now keep in mind, as he's running, you can see him look over, and he keeps running and he looks over and he realizes, okay, I'm almost to the point where it's dipping, but he keeps running, and then he jumps, thinking he's got a few feet to the other side. But by the time he had run too far, and it had dropped down like 30 feet. And as he's falling, the fences?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fences have the posts, and they stick out, right? Sometimes, right?
Right.
He said it was one of the older 1960s or 70s posts that have a point on it.
It
catches him in the back of the head as he's falling and yanks his head clean off his body.
Oh.
He said, I went to jump over it, and he said, I jump over it, and I have to grab onto the thing. I realize it dropped because he jumped, and now I'm jumping.
Yeah, you got to go after him.
Right. And he's like, whoa, whoa. And he's like, I'm grabbing it. He goes, but I wasn't that far. It was maybe 15 feet. So I was able to kind of hang down and drop down. He said at an angle, or maybe somebody pulled him up, whatever. He said, I remember when we ran down there to find him. He said his head is on the spike. He said, two or three of us immediately started puking. He said, I've never seen things so horrific in my life. Anyway, so I remember one time I was talking to him about this whole thing. And I said, he was complaining because keep in mind, he got 3 years in the state and he was supposed to get 5 years in the Fed. They were running concurrently. So he
didn't have to go to the state. He stayed in the Fed the whole time.
Go to the state?
These
guys fucking kill him. He's a white cop setting up black drug dealers. You can't go to in Georgia.
Yeah.
Ooh. So he knew. Listen, he's not stupid. So what's funny about that is the state judge, even though he had a deal, it wasn't the state judge. It was, I want to say it was a federal judge. The federal judge ended up giving him like 6 years or 7 years, a couple of years more than he was supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I had a deal. He's like, the fucking federal judge, he blah, blah, this and this. And he was supposed to give me 5 years and he ended up giving me 7. And I went, you did kill somebody like that. And he goes,
an old lady, like,
I know. I go, you did kill somebody. And he goes, she fucking shot me, bro. And I went, you broke into her house. Like, I typically don't push back. I don't care. You want to say, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get in an argument. He goes, she shot me. And I go, you broke into her fucking house. He goes, we're police officers. I go, she didn't know that. He was, you know what I'm saying? And he sat there. You don't understand. I'm thinking, no, I do understand. You don't get it. You're still.
They don't get it because they're cops. But if you ask them, if I was to tell, like I said, I have friends that are cops, family that's cops, and I tell them the story, nobody that I know that knows me personally, when it happened, everybody said the same thing before even speaking to me. Oh, he probably thought he was getting robbed. That was one of my biggest fears when I was young, when I was probably, this is right before my dad got locked up. I was probably 7, 8 years old. They pushed us into our house in the morning when we was leaving for school, tied me up, tied my little brother up, tied my mother up, tied my father up, and robbed us. I used to wake up in cold sweats. You can ask my ex, like, wake up in cold sweats, go look out the window, lay back down, and not remember what I did the night before. Like, that's everybody's biggest fear.
Yeah.
And I have cops that I asked them, like, yo, what would you do? They was like, yo, that person would be shot. If I don't know who it is in my house, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, it's still dark out. I'm just waking up. I don't even know what's going on. That first 5 minutes when you wake up, you don't know what's going on. You're still like in your sleep state or whatever they call it. What would you do?
Right.
What would you do? Knowing what I know now, hell no, I wouldn't have shot back if I knew that it was cops. But at the time, with the information that I had at the time, it's people in my house, they're not announcing themselves. I gave them ample opportunity to announce themselves. What else is there to do? What else is there to do? And that's my thing. Like, why do I have to go through 16 years because I thought I was going to die? I'm not saying I shouldn't do no time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Thing is, you want to punish me for illegal gun in the house? Cool. Give me my couple years, my 3, 4, 5, whatever you're going to do. But don't treat me as if I'm some animal when what would you do in my situation? What would you do? And it's around the time, this is 2022, when everybody's house in New York was getting broken into. It was right after COVID died down. There was no more money. Everybody's getting robbed. A friend of mine died 3 weeks prior to that, 7 minutes away from my house from a home invasion, and he got shot. So what am I supposed to do? Wait?
Right.
They're not there to sell me health or life insurance or Girl Scout cookies. 6 o'clock in the morning, they're in your house and they're not announcing yourself, trying to be cute, trying to be quiet, and oh no, it's not this door, it's that door, hit that door, hit that door. What does that sound like to any normal person?
Yeah.
And now I gotta go. Like, I don't have no kids, but I'm an amazing uncle. You know what I'm saying? I have kids that I have helped raise. I'm my mother's caretaker because she's real sick now. Like, I gotta go. My family gotta go do without me for 10 years, and I have no end. I don't have no violent charges ever. My shit is always drug possession. I don't even have no sales on my rap sheet. I don't have no assaults. I don't have no shootings. I'm not a violent person at all. So what's the remedy for the situation? And at the end of the day, why did you need a no-knock warrant? For what? He didn't commit a violent crime. What are you kicking? Even if it was his house, which it wasn't. My name's not on the warrant. You didn't even tell the judge and give him an opportunity to be like, listen, we're violating this guy's rights because he didn't do anything wrong, and it's his house, but the other person is living there and he sold drugs away from the house. There's no CI on his case. He was selling straight to an undercover. Right. So there's no CI that met him at the house or seen drugs in the house, a sale was made out the house. No crime was committed in that house. So how can you just come and kick my door down? And now I got to go through 16 years when I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I went to sleep. People say wrong place, wrong time. How was it wrong place? I was in my bed. I wasn't out at the club and whatever. I was in my bed, sleep where I was supposed to be.
Yeah, this is a bad situation.
So it's like,
I also understand that, usually I would say like, well, you should have gone to trial, but you can't go to trial. Not with the judge saying that. Like, you can't. Yeah, I couldn't even justify saying, well, you should still try. No, the judge has already told you he's going to fuck you.
He's telling you what he's going to do to you. I have a 54 count indictment. If I blow to three of the smaller charges, not none of the A's or the B's. If I blow to three of the small charges, I could blow to 1 C and 2 D's. I'm getting 30 years.
Right.
For what? So it could get out of the news that they didn't have body cameras on? Because why didn't they have body cameras on? Where's the justice for that? Where's the repercussions for them? Because it's not a feather in my hat that, I got to shoot a cop. Like, what? I don't sleep well at night. I could turn my camera now. I don't have any door on my bedroom. The only doors that are in my house are the bathroom and my front door. I cannot sleep with a door on my bedroom no more. I can't sleep. I will be up all night if the door to my bedroom is closed. I cannot sleep. I had to take the door off both of my bedrooms. This isn't something that is going to affect me for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life.
How old are you?
42.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I look a little younger than that, but I'm 42 years old. I don't want to come home at 52 and have to do everything over again, lose everything, and have to come back and do it all over again. Like, I did that already. Everything that you asked me to do when I get off parole, I did in spades. You want me to get a job? Cool, I got a job. Then I got a better job. Got in the union. Started my own business. Went in partners on another business. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do, giving back to my community. And now it's all taken away because you guys don't want to admit that you were wrong. Because had they not been wrong, if they had body cameras, everything, they wasn't going to offer me no 16 years for shooting at 5 cops. They're going to make me go to trial and blow my doors off and put me under one of these jails up here. That's what they're going to do. They're going to let me cop out.
If they were right.
If they were right. If they did everything right and by the book, they're not letting me take 16.
Yeah. So, but if they had body cameras on
If they had body cameras on, they would have went to the body camera, seen that they didn't announce themselves, and I wouldn't be in this type of trouble.
Right. You would have had a gun charge.
I would have had a gun charge in the house.
What was the gun charge, Carrie?
Well, gun charge, a loaded firearm in the house, because I'm a felon, it would have carried, the max is 15.
Really? Because, in the feds, like if I get caught with a gun, I get 3 years. If I get caught with a gun and drugs, you get 5 years. Now,
the problem in the state is a gun charge in the house is a D felony. Your max is 7. If you have because there's an exception, and it's 265.10 or something like that. There's an in-home exception. So you get caught with a loaded firearm in the house, it's a D felony. You usually cop out to E, and you probably get a year. The only exception to that rule is if you have a prior felony or if they're machine guns. So because I have a prior felony, it goes from a D to a C, which is my max is 15. But the judge never does go. If you get caught with a gun in the house and you're a felon, never is he going to give you 15 on a cop out. Ever.
Right.
Ever. They're going to knock it down to a D, and you're going to cop out to a 3 or 4 or 5. And like I said, I'm not saying I didn't do anything wrong. I had a gun in the house for protection of my home. For protection of my home.
Right. And you used it in furtherance of protection of your home.
Protection of my home. As soon as I opened that door, the first words out of my mouth weren't for me, get me an ambulance. Am I going to die? I didn't say none of that. The very first words out of my mouth were, I'm sorry. I thought I was getting robbed. Is the cop okay? And this is before I knew that I knew him. I didn't find out I know him for a week and a half when I seen him in the newspaper.
Did he ever reach out to you?
Never. He's suing me.
He's suing you?
He's suing me. He's suing me, the landlord.
The landlord?
Yeah. He said he should have known about the criminal activity going on in the house. But this goes back to there was no criminal activity going on in the house.
Right. Yeah.
He's not going to win. He's just suing. I don't even know. When my lawyers heard that he was suing and that they wanted a order of protection, he has order protection on me. They laughed in court. Like, where do they do this at?
Right.
And where do they do this at?
Well, I don't, obviously I don't have anything good to say. There's no good in this.
No good in this. It's just, like I said, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to put in whatever appeals I can put in. That's another thing. They limit what you can appeal because I cop out.
Right.
So I can't appeal a lot of stuff. If I would have went to trial and got my doors blown off, then I can appeal the everything, whatever. Also, I'm a felon. There's a gun. There was 2 guns in the house. Why did the feds come? I have a previous gun from before, and there's another gun found in the kitchen. Who my co-defendant it was his that I didn't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
They only offered him 2 years for the gun.
What did he end up getting total?
He wound up getting 6 for the drugs fast. He took 6 for the drugs because he has priors for his drug sales. He took 6 off the bat, like a few months in. And then the guns in the house, they was like, well, we'll give you 2 years and run it consecutive. And he's like, nah, I'm not taking that. I'm not going to take that. So his lawyer wound up doing it to where he asked the judge, well, give him 7 for the gun and run it concurrent so he gets a total of 7. The judge said, well, I don't even know if I can give him that much because they're not used to giving that much time for a gun in the house.
Right.
So that's what he wound up getting. He wound up taking the 7 for the gun, the 6 for the drugs, and ran them together. He'll be home in like 3 years because he's going to go to shock. He'll be home in like 3 years. He just went in a few weeks ago.
Can you think of anything we didn't cover?
No. Can you think of anything we didn't cover that you want to cover?
No.
I know it's a lot of information.
I'm a little depressed for you, but
I'm depressed myself. I wake up every day thinking about it. If I would be able to deal with it better if I was actually still in the streets. Because I can't get mad I got hit by a car if I'm playing in traffic. That's my saying.
Right.
I'm in the streets, I'm doing it's part of the game. But this is not part of the game. To me, I was never going back to jail. Jail was a distant memory to me. I'm not jail. Like, I'm not going crazy. What am I going back to jail for? I'm doing so good out here legally, and they can't take it from me now. What are we doing here? And now I have to go do the most time that I've ever done, and I'm in the most trouble I've ever been in. When I was copping out, because you know how you cop out when you go up there, you pick the charge you're gonna cop out to, and you got to admit, a tear is coming down my face, not because of the time, because I'm admitting to something that I didn't do.
Right.
In court, admitting that's what it was. Tears of frustration and pain, like you're making me admit to something that I did not do. To this day, if I see one of these cops on the street, any one of the ones that was in my house, even the one that got shot, the one that's suing me, if they needed help, I would help them. Like,
Right.
I would help them. If I see them in the street right now, if I'm walking down the street, I don't hold no animosity. It's not like I'm like, oh, fuck the police because of this. No, they have to do their job. It's a very sensitive job that they do, and I don't envy them. I don't want to be a cop.
Right.
But just do it right. Be fair. Like, what? Why is your life worth more than mine? Again, to this day, I'm not like, fuck the police. If I see them, one of them outside right now, and they need help, I would, and their life was in danger, anything. They need a flat tire. What? This is the type of person I am, and anybody that knows me can attest to that. The fact that I bailed out on a $5 million bail, and it wasn't my money.
Right.
This is 18 people donated money. So you're telling me 18 people? It's not. It doesn't go like that. That's a testament to my character. The clerk said when they were taking the money, like, you know what y'all doing? They're like, yeah, we know what we're doing. And the clerk said, I've never seen nothing like this before. And it's a testament to his character. It's the type of person that I'm quick to give before I take, anytime. So that's what hurts so much. That it's like, it's just, it doesn't count for anything. It don't matter to them.
Yeah, I think this
It's
is
a story that got to be told, because if not, it's for nothing. It's
right.
for nothing. And it can't be for nothing.
All right. I think this is a good stopping place.
All right.
All right. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
But do you have anything any place you want people to go, or like a social media, anything? No, just
no. I don't got none of that. Like, I don't got no GoFundMe. I don't got no. I don't. Like I said, this shit it's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's not fair. Nobody should have to go through this. Like, nobody. I don't envy. Like, they really need to. And in the feds, there's no not going wouldn't have stuck. The judge wouldn't have gave it to him, because it's stricter now ever since Breonna Taylor. But the states can do what they want. That's why this didn't go to the feds, because the feds would have looked at it like there was no crime committed in the house. Why the fuck did you get a no knock warrant?
Right.
It's not his house, and you didn't even bring up the person whose house it is. But after the fact, you said that you knew I lived there. So why didn't you tell the judge that you knew I lived there?
Right.
So that's why they didn't. That's why I think the feds didn't come to the feds like, yo. So do I think eventually, like, because you know how appeals work. Appeals, when you get caught in the state, you got to go through the 2 state appeals, get denied, and then appeal to the Supreme Court. I think once it gets to the feds, I'll be heard more than in the state courts. I think I'm going to get denied on my appeals in the state courts. I think I'm going to have to wait until it gets to the federal circuit, and then I'll get some traction. But by that time, you know how appeals work. 2 years each one. I'm gonna have 8 years in.
Yeah.
So, but it has to be told, because, like I said, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, and it's the scariest shit I've ever been through in my life. I went from dead sleep to thinking I was gonna die. I'm in a room, and 48. You saw the picture of my door. 48 shots coming through my door, literally whizzing past my head. I don't know to this day how I only got shot once. Had no clue, because I went from one side of the door to the other side of the door. How I only got shot once, I have zero clue. Zero clue.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like the video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos like this. Also, please share the video. I feel like it's an important story that we should try and get out there. And also, do me a favor, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, please consider joining my Patreon. It's $10 a month. It really does help Colby and I make these kinds of videos. That we also have Patreon exclusive content on Patreon. So if it bothers you that we have to censor some of the videos and some of the language, there's uncensored versions of all the podcasts on Patreon. So once again, $10 a month. Please consider joining. Thank you very much. See ya.